Okay, so welcome back. In this one, we're going to make use of the Sylenth to create our synth pattern for a tune. If you haven't got a copy of Sylenth, then you can skip forward to the next module, and that shows you how to actually bring these samples in using the simpler device and the samples bundled alongside this course. Or you can just feel free to watch along this tutorial just to see how the sound's actually made. So I'm just going to clean our project up a bit quickly. I'm just going to hide some of the mess here just to make it easier to explain. So I'm going to click from our tom brush to our white noise, and I'm going to group these, and I'll rename it to percussion. Let's minimize that, and then we've got our bass part here which we created, and our simpler bass part, and I'll just group these. I've only got one of them active, so that's fine. I'm just going to insert a new MIDI track, and this will be our synth. Plug in devices, and we'll grab our Sylenth, and then we're going to initialize this. So what we're going to do with this Sylenth is create a nice sort of tapping pulse wave effect. So it'll just be like it'll almost be like a percussion hit. So what I'm going to do is bring down our sustain, bring down all of these levels, and then I'm going to change this to a white noise because we're going to have a white noise and a pulse wave. So we'll start off with the white noise, and we'll just introduce a tiny bit of decay so we get that nice click. That's fine there. And then I'm going to go to our filter, and I'll set that to A and B. So we're going to bring in the oscillator from this section as well. And we're going to turn the drive up, the resonance, and the cutoff frequency, because we're going to play about with this cutoff frequency later. And I'll set the filter type to 12 dB, which gives us a softer curve, so it doesn't cut out too much of the high end. And then we'll set the filter type to low pass. Okay, so if we go to part B now, so we can't put it over here because if we put an oscillator here, it will just be affected by this envelope, and we want a longer decay. So part B, bring down our sustain, attack and release, make sure they're all down, and we can just add a bit of decay, but a bit more this time. And we'll add a voice to this left hand side, and we'll change this to a nice thick pulse wave, and we'll drop the octave by a couple. And then this filter here, we just do the input select and set that to none, so that it goes straight through to filter A here. And then I'm going to bounce up the voices just to thicken this out, and we'll detune it. Okay, and then if we go down to our mod envelope, what we're going to do is a reverse of what we did last time. Last time we had the cutoff frequency opening and then closing using this envelope, and this time we're going to have it closing and then opening, and because we've got it set to the top, that's fine. So we're going to go to cutoff A, which is just this filter, and instead of going up, we'll go down. So we'll set this to a minus value, and then the attack is the length of time it takes for it to start to drop. Oh, the length of time it takes to drop. And then the decay is the time it takes for it to come back up again. You can play about with that until you get the sort of tone you're looking for, but that's almost it there. And then I'm going to set the cutoff just down a bit. We'll turn the warm drive on as well here. We can cycle through the key track. Just to get something that we're happy with. I think that's sounds okay. We'll program this in just to see what it sounds like. So I'm going to go to quite high in our octave range. So I'll go up to A4. And I'm going to set our notes to a 1/32. So I'm going to draw in a note at 1/32. And then I'll just set this to a 16th grid so we can snap between the 16ths. And it's going to have a couple notes sort of heading throughout. just going to click on this and I'm going to set the groove to the same groove we've been working with. I'll go for the 75. Gives it a nice shuffle. And then I'm going to add in a couple of notes an octave above this. Just playing at the same time. We'll just leave it so that it doesn't play on the first note. Okay, so that sounds pretty cool there. What we'll do is drop in a quick trick here with the simple delay. We'll set the dry wet to 100 and turn the sync to time and bring these both down. And then increase one of them. Gives a nice stereo effect. And then I'm going to do a high pass. So I'm going to drop in an auto filter and do a high pass. Just to remove the low end because we just want this sort of tapping along with the tune up in the mid-high range. And then I'm going to drop in a compressor as well. And we'll sidechain it, select our drum rack and our kick drum. Bring the attack down so it turns on immediately. Up the ratio a tiny bit. And if we turn the knee up, this will just smooth the curve out so we get softer hit. Okay, so that's the synth programmed in using the Sylenth, and in the next tutorial what we'll do is we'll show you how to import the individual parts into a simpler device to play these same things if you don't actually have a copy of Sylenth. And again, if you do, and you've already programmed this in, then you can skip ahead to the next tutorial which covers strings.